Hey Fred, just wanted to go over some things with you. I don't want you to get behind. And so I'm going to go over what you need to do today. Since today's Tuesday and we don't have class tomorrow, I would like you to do this work tomorrow that you missed so that way you don't get behind. So first thing I want you to do is to go to your learning log. So remember when you go into here, it's going to be under Tuesday, under today in your daily log, August 25th. It says 24th here, but it's under Tuesday, August 25th. So go into your daily log. When you go in there, you'll see this screen right here. And so you'll have 3 questions for bell work to go over. That is a review from what we did last week. So go over that, please. I'm going to go over what I want this especially. So on your homework that you did for Monday, this question right here was one that you kind of, that was one question that you got wrong. And so I want to go over that, and I'll go over that with you in a second. If you scroll down here, then I'll go on with you later. You're going to have some practice problems to also do. So you're going to have to do this plus your homework assignment, but your homework assignment is not going to be that difficult. There's only 2 questions on it. So the learning log is actually more because you are in class longer. Okay, so let's go to your slide deck for the day, and we'll see what we're up for today. Okay, so today again it says Monday, but we didn't meet yesterday, so I wanted to go over this with you today. So today is Tuesday, August 25th. So if you want to write this down, please feel free to write this down. So this is what I want to go over with you that you got incorrect on your homework. And so this is a big thing. The most important thing in this unit is about the solutions. And so the solutions to the parabola, if you remember, mean where it crosses the x-axis. So it's the x-intercepts. So if you notice here, there are 3 possible ways that a parabola could look. So this first way, this here, means that this parabola has no solution. So you can see here, this parabola is on top of the line. And so it doesn't have a parabola because it never crosses this x-axis. So it doesn't have a solution. So if you saw this, you would write no solution. In this situation, see how the parabola is sitting on top of the x-intercept, or on top of that x-axis. So it only has one solution because it only crosses at one place. And then this parabola has 2 solutions because it goes through the x-axis at 2 places. So I would write these down because this is the main go-getter that we're looking at in this unit, is that after you graph the parabola, that you can tell me if there's 1 solution, 2 solutions, or there is not a solution at all to the parabola. So this is like the whole deal for this entire unit. Whether we factor or we use our quadratic formula later, we want to know what are the solutions. The solutions are, where is it crossing this x-axis? Okay, so what we're going to get into today is graphing. So our purpose today is that we can graph a parabola. We're going to do the easy ones today. So we're going to do ones where we just do a simple t-chart from -2 to 2. So again, if you need to write this down, take a minute, you can pause and write this down. But our point is that we're going to grab a parabola. This is supposed to be x squared right here, but I can't do it in the Google slide. And then this is x squared plus c. And so I'll explain what that means in a minute when we graph here. So we are going to need some graph paper. So hopefully you have that and you'll be able to follow along with that, because when you do your homework, I'm going to need to see the graph in a picture and then upload it. So the steps here: always use a t-chart to plug from -2 to 2. Then just plug, chug, and graph. I'll explain that in a second, but basically you're just going to plug it in, you're going to evaluate it, and then you're going to graph it. And then the final thing is identifying the solutions. Where does it cross the x-axis, if it crosses at all? Remember, we talked about this here. You're going to identify, is there no solution? Is there 1 solution? Are there 2 solutions? If they have solutions, what are they? All right, so again, if you need to pause that, go ahead. But I'm going to stop share, and I'm going to be fancy here. And I'm going to share on my iPad because I want to be able to draw. All right, so we're going to share screen here, and we're going to start by graphing the first parabola, which is going to be y equals 2x squared. All right, so first step is we're going to create a t-chart. Now on your homework and on your other work, you have a chart I put in there for you. So you're going to make a t-chart, and we're going to go from -2 to +2. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take each of these and we're going to plug them into the formula. So I always like to start with 0 because I think that's the easiest one to plug in. So I'm going to take 0 over here, and the 0 is going to go in for the x. So it's going to be 2 times 0 squared. Now you can put this in the calculator just like this, exactly like this, to get an answer, and it'll be fine. But if you want to do it in your head, you always do the exponent first. So it'd be 0 squared, which is 0. 0 times 2 is still 0. Okay, now I'm going to plug in the 1 because the positive ones to me are always easier. So 2 times 1 squared equals, so again, you can put in the calculator, or if you want to do it in your head, you would do 1 squared. That has to be done first. So 1 times 1 is 1, and then multiply it by the 2, and that'll give you a 2. Okay, we'll plug in the t-chart. All right, next we'll plug in the 2. So 2 times 2 squared. So again, square the 2 first. So 2 times 2 gives me a 4. Then I'll do 4 times 2, and that gives me 8. All right, so all we're doing again is just plug, chug, and then we're going to graph this bad boy. Okay, next we have -1. So if we plug in a -1, okay, so we'll do the exponent first. So -1 times -1 is going to give me a +1. So this would be 1 times 2 is 2. I didn't mean to put that 0 there. That was an accident. Okay, now if we plug in the -2, 2 times -2 squared. So again, if I do this part first, if I do that part first, because that's order of operations, I have to do exponents first. -2 times -2 is a +4 times 2 gives me an 8. All right, so if you look at this t-chart and notice how the first and the last number are the same, and then the middle numbers are the same as well. So that should happen every time that you make a t-chart for your parabola, is that these two numbers should match, so the 8s match, and then these two numbers should match, so those 2s match. If you don't have that, that means that something went wrong, because a parabola reflects itself. If you remember what a parabola looks like, a parabola is like a U-shaped, right? And so in order for it to make that reflection, it has to be like reflected on either side. So if this doesn't happen, you know that you did something wrong and you're going to want to check your work. All right, now if we go graph this, I'm just going to guess on this because I don't have my graph paper, but so I have a point at 0, 0. Now I'm going to go to -1, +2, and +1, +2. So I just graphed those two right there. Now I'm going to go 2, 8, all the way up here, somewhere up there. And then -2, 8, well, that was -2, 8, somewhere up here. Okay, and then connect them together. Whee! Ooh, missed that guy. Okay, so connect them together, and now I have my parabola. So the final question is, what in the heck is the solution, or is there a solution to this graph? So remember, the solutions are where it crosses this x-axis right here. Okay, this is the spot right here where it crosses the x-axis. It only crosses it at one time. So there's one solution, and the solution is at 0, 0. Is right at the origin. It crosses at the origin at 0, 0. So that is all we're looking at today, is looking at what that is supposed to be. All right, now let's try another one. Okay, new piece of paper, here we go. Okay, let's up our ante. Let's try a little more difficult one. So I'm gonna do y equals 1/2 x squared. I know fractions, don't trip, it'll be fine. 1/2 x squared plus 1. That's it, 1/2 x squared plus 1. So this is where I was saying before, I said there was a plus c. So you might have an extra number added on here, and that's okay. You'll see what's going to happen here in a second. So let's start by making our t-chart from -2 to 2. Okay, and again, I always start at 0 because I think that's the easiest thing to do, because 0 always cancels everything out. So I'm going to start with a 0, so I'm going to go 1/2 times 0 squared plus 1. So here, no matter what, the 0 squared times 1/2, that's going to cancel out because anything times 0 is still going to be 0. But then I'm going to add 1, and so I'll have 1 as my answer. So my vertex, or the point that's right here in the middle, is going to be 0, 1. Okay, next, let's do the positive one. So 1/2 times 1 squared plus 1. Okay, so here, again, if I do this first, the 1 squared, 1 times 1 is 1. But then I take half of 1, I'm going to get 1/2, and then plus 1 will give me 1.5. Now again, if that is all like, woo, that was way too much, Miss Lewinsky, that I don't get it, just use your calculator, but you have to type it in exactly as it says. So you have to have those parentheses there, you have to have that exponent there. If you don't remember how to do it, please email me and let me know. I can help you put the fraction and the exponent in. All right, so this one is going to be 1.5. All right, now we're going to plug in the 2, so 1/2 of 2 squared plus 1. So if I do my squared first, 2 squared is 4. Then I have to take half of 4. Half of 4 is 2. And then 2 plus 1 is going to give me 3. So I'm 3 over there. Okay, now for time's sake, I'm going to just let you trust me and know that these other ones are going to reflect. We're not going to spend our time doing that right now. These are going to reflect and be the same answers as the tops were and the middles were before. So just know that that is going to reflect. But let's go ahead and graph this so then we can get to the main point of what the heck is the solution, or what is the answer here. All right, so if I get my XY axis and I go to graph, okay, my vertex is always that middle point, and it's going to be at 0, 1. So 0, 1 is going to be right there. Okay, then I'm going to, again, guesstimate on here because I don't have a grid. But this is going to be -1, comma, so -1, 1.5. So if that's 1, it's going to be right about there. Okay, this one is also going to be over here. So we're going to go to +1 and up 1.5. So it's going to be roughly around that point. Okay, now we're going to go over 2 and up 3. So that'll be right about there. And over to the left, 2 and up 3, and that will be right about there. Okay, so there's our parabola. So the final question is, what are the solutions to this parabola? Remember, the solutions mean where does it cross this x-axis? If you notice, it doesn't cross the x-axis at all. So what did that mean? No solution. So this parabola does not have a solution. Okay, so I'm going to stop share on this, and I'm going to share screen back to your daily log for the day. Okay, on your daily log, all right, after you answer these questions, if you come down here, you'll notice that there are 3 practice problems for you to try. Okay, question 2 down here is just you basically answering what are the solutions to the ones that you just had above. Okay, if you have any questions on this, please, please, please contact me and we can talk about it. So you're going to have 3 on here. And then if I show you your homework, let me get to your homework page here. Okay, your homework for the day is also graphs, but it's only 2 graphs on here. So these are the only 2 that you have to do right here, 1 and 2. But here's the kicker, is that you're going to need to take a picture of your work. So I need to see the t-chart. I need to see just how I did it, just how you plug the numbers in. I need to see the graph on the graph paper, and you need to identify the solutions. Okay, if you have any questions, please, please, please contact me, and good luck. I'm sure you will do fine.